And welcome once again to Flashpoints. I'm Bob Orr, joined by Juan Zarate, our national security analyst. Juan, good to see you.
Bob, great to see you.
So the president has made his proposal on how he wants to reform intelligence collection and retention. What are the big changes that are going to happen?
Well, the big headline here, Bob, is that the president wants to change the way that the NSA does its bulk telephone data collection and analysis. He does not want the NSA to hold that data anymore. Not because there's been an abuse, he's very clear about that, but because of the potential for abuse and the lack of trust in that system that we've seen in the current public debate. And so he's advocating for a plan, yet to be determined, for that data to be held elsewhere and then for that data to be accessed. Currently, the change as well is that the president wants there to be judicial authorization for access to the data sets that now reside at the NSA for this telephone data. So those are two big headline changes that in the lexicon of the White House completely alters the way that that program has been operating.
From a reality standpoint, though, for now, data collection remains with the NSA. And the president said, even under changes that would require a judicial order to query the database, he also carved out an exception for or emergency.
That's right.
So what really changes? I mean, is it any different today doing intelligence gathering than it was yesterday?
Not right at this moment, because in a sense, the FISA court, the FISC body that oversees this program, has to agree and adjust the program itself. Remember, this is a program that's been ongoing. It's been authorized. There are parameters to it. The court has issued guidelines and has worked with the NSA. And so that has to be changed if now the court order is required for any initial query of that data set. And so that's going to have to change and be altered, and that will affect how analysts do their work. The bigger question here, Bob, and something you and I have talked about, is what does the architecture for the housing of this data look like? And how do we ensure not only that the NSA can continue to do its work with that data, but that privacy and civil liberties are actually protected? Because if we have some third party holding it, it's not clear that that data is going to be any more secure, or that we're going to have oversight or accountability for some consortium or third party that doesn't exist in the government context.
So the president essentially wants a consensus from Congress. What's the best way to do this? Who should retain this data, and I guess for how long, all of those particulars. Congress doesn't agree on anything. Yeah. This program has a deadline at the end of March. Do we run the risk here of losing that bulk data program?
Maybe. I think one of the variables here, Bob, is that the president's throwing into the hands of Congress and sort of in his sort of executive the fundamental questions as to how this is going to operate. And again, the devil's in the details, and you may have a potential crisis if we don't come to a resolution anytime soon. There is no obvious answer here. I mean, it's part of the reason why the president didn't articulate an answer. There is no easy way of shifting this program, at least currently, given the constraints in the construct.
We've only got about a minute to go here, so just quickly on the foreign side.
Yeah.
What's going to change there? We're not going to spy on our closest friends, I guess, but what about tracking terrorists?
Well, I don't think much is going to change there. The president did articulate a principle that we are going to respect the rights of foreign citizens with respect to signals intelligence collection, which is the first time I think I've heard a president articulate it quite that way. What that means in practice, I'm not yet sure, but he's asked the Director of National Intelligence and the Attorney General to come back to him with recommendations as to how long you can retain data on foreign citizens and restrictions on who we target and how we do it. We'll just have to see how that plays out, but I doubt we're going to see any major reforms in that regard.
So just quick opinion here. Is this enough to placate the privacy people and at the same time defend the needs of the intelligence community?
I think it will not satisfy the privacy and civil liberties folks. And in fact, it will whet their appetite. They want more. They want more real reforms, constraint on the ability of the government to even do this work. And I think they're going to start asking questions about if you can constrain this particular program, why not others? Because we have access, the government has access to other batches of data. And the question is, why aren't these kinds of reforms being applied to those?
And will the intel folks accept this? I mean, I guess they have to. It's the commander-in-chief.
That's right. They're going to grumble, but they're going to find a way around this. The real question is, down the road, God forbid, if there's an attack, do you look back and say, the president's restrictions on how this data could be used, how quickly it could be accessed, the hurdles put in place, Did that slow our ability to connect the dots? That's a risk that we're taking.
Well, the speech certainly doesn't end the debate or the controversy.
That's right.
Juan, thanks very much.
Thank you, Bob.
And thanks to you for watching Flashpoints. I'm Bob Orr. We'll see you again next time.